When you're in a relationship, it's not your responsibility to make sure that someone is loyal to you. You trying to create the conditions for them to be loyal to you shows that you don't actually believe you're worthy of being loyal to. One, that's not a standard in your reality. Two, and three, you're taking responsibility for someone else's action, and this creates an energetic imbalance where you're constantly taking responsibility for this person's actions. So what this does is it creates codependency. This person becomes reliant on you because you're willing to do that for them. The moment that you say, I'm not responsible for your actions, but here are the consequences for those actions based on my standards, is the moment that you take all of your power back. When you're in a relationship, whether it's a coaching relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a friendship, you're not responsible for someone else's actions. It's their responsibility to show up for the relationship. It's their responsibility to show their loyalty. It's their responsibility to tell you how they feel. It's not your responsibility to monitor and make sure that they're feeling good and great all the time. It's their responsibility to communicate to you how they're feeling, especially if it's regarding you or impacting you. But when you're taking responsibility for their emotions, when you're taking responsibility for their actions, then you don't allow them the opportunity to step up to the plate and actually take responsibility for themselves. And so what you're actually doing is you're enabling them into staying small, and you're enabling yourself into putting a load on your shoulders when it's actually not your responsibility. Let it go. Give it back to them. Like, you got to deal with this, bro. This is not on me. Obviously, I don't like the way this makes me feel, so I'm going to set some sort of boundary, or I'm going to distance myself, or whatever the case may be. But it's like, I'm not responsible for getting you out of that situation. I'm not responsible for filtering through your emotions. That's your responsibility. And I will show you that by also taking responsibility for that on my end, in my own world, in my own emotions, in my own actions. If you can't meet me there, then the relationship's just gonna fall apart. And a lot of y'all are trying to keep relationships in your field that don't actually serve you and don't actually support your autonomy and sovereignty in this world. And you're doing that by taking responsibility and not separating the task of that being their responsibility and you having your own responsibility. And a lot of the time this happens because you aren't clear in the first place of what is your responsibility and what isn't. So before getting into another relationship, client relationship, romantic, friendship, really sit with yourself and be like, okay, what is my responsibility in this relationship that I desire? What is my responsibility? It's my responsibility to show up and to have a good attitude, but it's also my responsibility to allow myself to feel what I feel. It's my responsibility to express my emotions. And when you set that standard for yourself, you're naturally going to attract people who have those same standards, who have those same viewpoints, and then you're no longer going to have this energetic dynamic that creates this energy of codependency, or that creates this energy of like pulling and siphoning energy. Literally, the only reason that happens is because you haven't up-leveled your standards and began to embody that yourself. That's exactly what we do inside of Spark Your Magic, which is inside the membership. So get inside and do the work, baby.